rather watch than coach. You like to be a Purdue fan, even though Bobby Joe, Purdue fans crazy too. Tennessee's just a really good team. And the one thing we talked about our team is they always get on runs. And you'd rather get a lead on them, they're going to make that run, than be the team that flips it like they did the other night against Iowa. So Iowa gets down, then Iowa comes back on them. It just seems like a lot of their games against quality opponents are that way. But it's difficult. They make those runs and they take the lead. That's hard to come back, and you got to give our guys credit for being resilient. Klein obviously made some tough ones in that stretch. And Carson Edwards, got to the basket a couple times, but it just seemed like we couldn't get a rebound and we couldn't get a stop. So we had some things going our way offensively, but it was tough defensively.
Free throws were tough to come by too, but
yeah,
obviously Ryan didn't want his career to end. Carson said he basically rescued you guys at the end of regulation.
Yeah, no, that's a good way of putting it. But both teams shot 50% from the line and 50% from three, roughly, and it shouldn't be that way. But but Ryan was great. Ryan really made some tough shots, and like I said earlier, when you're that high, you gotta stay in the game and not foul.
It's been a long time. 2000, you guys have reached this point.
Yeah,
Elite Eight.
Yeah,
it means a lot.
It's difficult, man. Like people don't realize it. They talk about getting out of the Sweet 16 and getting to the Elite Eight. Getting to the Sweet 16 is tough. And so just give our guys credit. This was one of those games that could have went either way.
He was on live. I didn't want to dog his live report.
What kind of studies your team in situations like that? A lot of teams can fall back on experience, but this team doesn't have a tremendous amount of it.
Well, I thought our guys just did a good job of staying in the moment. Obviously, we were kind of riding a hot hand there with Klein, and Carson was picking his spots and being aggressive, and it was more of a focus from a defensive standpoint. We were struggling to get stops, and we were struggling to get rebounds. I looked at the box score, I was amazed. We out-rebounded them. But we didn't turn the basketball over, and we made some timely shots. And like I said earlier, it's very fortunate. This game could have went either way.
Ryan Klein's confidence, it's obviously he came here as a confident shooter, but how much does that play into when a guy's able to go out and do it?
Yeah, well, I think he got into a good rhythm, especially in the second half. He came off a couple handoffs and he actually knocked down a couple, long twos, which, he doesn't shoot a lot of twos, but got into a little bit of a rhythm there and then made threes. Nogel and Grady made a good decision on a couple drives there to get the ball back to him, and then he made a couple good individual plays. A couple of his shots were just good individual plays and breaking it. They put a bigger defender on him, so he had some space, and he just broke them down and knocked down a couple pull-up threes.
And after the IU game, Carson had a rough shooting night, and you said he's our guy. Obviously, he proved that against Villanova. What do you say about Ryan Klein now as well? You put them on the same plane.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. They're on the same team, so you're happy to have both of them. So if both of those guys, when you have guys that can really shoot it like those guys, you're good if they're both corking them in, at the same time, and it's a high volume. Those threes are going to add up, and so just to see him, feel good and knock shots down, that's what you want from those guys. But it's hard. Those guys on defense are trying like heck not to let those guys have looks, and they're making some tough shots.
You talk about the defensive focus getting better. I guess what did you see go wrong in the second half, and what went right in overtime?
Our ability to contain the dribble. We kind of broke down our rules a couple times and lunged for steals and had some baseline screens where we just didn't stay with guys and let them get some clean looks. But a lot of it was our inability to keep the ball in front of us. So they were breaking us down either in the mid post or just driving. And then when our help was good, they just shoot over our help, but then they seem like they get offensive rebounds. So it's tough. It's a lot of times you have problems against quality teams that you don't have sometimes with other people. They serve some real problems when they break you down off the dribble. That's what I put on the board before. If we can't contain the dribble, we're going to struggle to rebound in that one stretch right there.
Have you seen something different from Aaron Wheeler in the postseason? Or is he just kind of getting better?
Yeah, well, I thought in Villanova he didn't let some things come to him. He's just got to take what they give him, get out on the break, get some offensive rebounds, take your threes. Tonight, that was. I don't think people realize how hard it is to play and sub it in the second half and just stick a three right away. He made a huge three, and I thought it was a good read. And both of his threes that he got were good reads by our guards and good passes by our guards. And so that's what they need to look for him. He got one right in front of our bench that he missed. That was wide open. So a lot of times when you run a lot of action and Klein and Carson get hot, we try to put a lot of different people on the same side of the court just to try to get those guys. Either you got Harms going to the rim, you got him coming behind you, you got one of those guys making an individual play.
You ever coached a team that you knew that you had a full green light on two guys, whether at any time in your career where there's two guys you know you're confident in them shooting at any time?
Yes, I have. Yeah. Each one more and Robbie Hummel together. Like both those guys had, a green light. Juwan Johnson, had a green light even though he didn't shoot threes. He was a guy that we tried to get. I'm a big believer, and you got guys that can score. Get him as many looks as you can, but you want quality looks.
Did you switch Eastern off of Schofield because of fouls?
Yes. But we wanted him to go on Schofield at that stretch right there, but then we just got worried from a physical standpoint. If we're going to lose Klein and we're going to lose him, boy, that's going to do us in a lot of areas. So we switched him on and then we switched him back.
Klein and Carson are having big games, but what does it mean for the bench to be putting in meaningful minutes?
Eric Hunter, the Old Dominion game, really I think gave him some confidence. And when Joe got those fouls, I thought he was very steady, had a very steady hand, and did some really good things for us. But they all helped us. Sasha played good defense. Travion really did a good job in that first half, got rebounds, scored the basketball at the rim. We just talked about Aaron and his ability to knock down shots and get out on the break. So those freshmen are growing up, but it's hard. I always talk about it. It's really hard to be consistent when you don't get consistent minutes.
I think it was Brady said that. I think in one of the last timeouts, I don't know if it was the under 4 or something close to that. You told the guys, hey, look, after they've come all the way back, you guys are down 2.